Hello, good morning. Happy, beautiful Tuesday. I hope this day is starting off or is already on a good go, depending on where, of course, you are tuning in from the world. And so, oh my gosh, and this morning I'm having really sitting with our conversation from Saturday, really thinking about, again, the impact of positive expectation and how the interplay of that in our lives and healing really correspond. I've been just holding space for each of you as you move forward and through this program. And we had a really another big, of course, healing day on Saturday, which again, I'm still sitting in that transformation, as I'm sure you are as well. I think this really comes back into something we talked about, several weeks ago, was the very fact that we can't rush this healing. We have to allow for what needs to come up to come up. It's a gentle, compassionate, approach to healing. And so there's no we don't want to move too quickly through it. We do, of course, if we do wind up into a healing crisis, and of course that is of no benefit whatsoever. So again, as we're moving forward and we're doing all of this good work, just there were always the reminder to be extra care, considerate of your needs, extra attentive to whatever is coming up for you, and of course, doing everything you can in terms of self care, your self love practices, but also coming into now and saying, okay, what is the medicine? How do I move from feeling in the funk and processing all of this that I've been processing in order to really reclaim my life or begin to live a life that I love living? And so it really becomes some of the things that we've talked about over the last, this last little while. We want to look in terms of using the gratitude practices in order to begin to alter and shift the frequency and vibration of our experience with life. So it's not even necessarily, I mean, yes, it's about our personal vibration, but it's also the expression and vibration and experience of life as well. So we want to look at, we want to cultivate the gratitude. We want to look at sending love to those who maybe we're finding challenge with, and then of course we want to sit and allow for that guidance from spirit and really tap in and to allow our angels and guides to have some direct influence through their energy and vibration. I would say even direct influence, let's say like the direct contact that can be made from taking that 5 minutes just to be mindful, to be present, right? We talked about on Saturday, of course, of positive expectation and how to begin to create within us a mindset and a way of approaching life of just expecting the healing. The healing is happening. I'm expecting this to go well. I'm expecting, and we're putting these expectations not on ourselves so much, because again, we release the unhealthy expectation, but we're starting to play with expectation in part of ourselves, but in co-creation with the universe, co-creation with the powers that be, to help and expect that good shall follow all of our efforts. Expect that good will begin to transform, expect to begin to feel better, expect that this won't last forever, right? All of these things that we begin working in direct co-creation and collaboration with these higher and beautiful divine energies in order to begin to pull us out of the vibrational discord and bring us more into alignment with our higher self, or what we could say is God's will for us here, of course. And so when we look at, and again, please use whatever word that is for you. Your higher power, your relationship with your higher power is something completely unique. I always reference God, the creator of all that is, not based on some religious connotation or defined within a structure or doctrine, but of an all expansive, all loving, and all encompassing energy that guides and supports the wellness of our life. And so when we look at this understanding that our spirit, or we could say the creator, is always looking for expression and expansion. So when we look at moving into a mindset of positive expectation, we are now moving into the frequencies and the energies that allow for there to be expansion and, of course, greater expression of those higher facets or higher attributes of the divine, angel that exists in all of us. And so it's a beautiful way, we have to, in order to, it's a beautiful way to start to begin to live within life. But more importantly, it's also one of the ways that we pull ourselves out of what was and we put ourselves into the present in understanding our power, our light, and authority to begin to experience, live, and work in harmony with the universal laws and, of course, with the consciousness that creates miracles. But we do have to take that responsibility of doing that, putting the effort in everything that we're looking to, shift in our lives. I mean, we have to be participatory in what is happening and participatory in what we're looking to accomplish, or what we're craving or seeking or praying for our life to become. And so we need to be that inspired or that action oriented individual. It doesn't mean that we're working hard at this. It just means that we are addressing what needs to be healed and attending to how we feel and processing and giving some time, as I said, to be gentle, to move forward through this in a way that is compassionate, that is caring. We can't rush any of this, but we also then want to begin to take initiative to work in the harmony of the universe to be able to really shift and move the vibrational experience of our life, because it's in the moving of the vibrational experience of our life that we bring ourselves into alignment with the very things that we, of course, have been seeking and praying and, and longing for in our life. One of the things that I've come to know over my journey is that God, this creator of all that is, God cannot do for us compared to what God can do with and through us. And so we need to, we can't just pray for the miracle and sit back and wait, in an expectation that it is a power outside of us that is going to solve the problem. It is in the positive expectation that we are a part of the solution. We are part of the manifestation. We are working in cooperation and allowing this power, this God source creator, this light, this love to work through us. And we are in cooperation and working in collaboration with what can become possible. So, I really encourage this to be almost a mantra, or, a reminder for you. In fact, I would encourage you to write this down and write it out often, that God cannot do for me what God can do with and through me, because it's bringing you then into a place of seeking and becoming the co-creative individual for your life. But again, you are a part of initiating. This is you taking the necessary steps, let's call it the self-responsibility piece, for your part in your healing journey and your part in your life. So it's a real, and again, when we look at this, is a real shift within mindset. It's a shift within frequency and vibration. And again, it brings us into more of alignment and harmony with what is not only, as I said, the healing scope of it, but in terms of what can become possible now for our lives that perhaps we never thought was possible for us before. So when we look at positive expectation, this is the key to it here. I mean, this is within Buddhism, where you may have heard teachings, and you may have said, to be detached to the outcome. We can look at the law of detachment. The law is a universal law that encourages us to completely let go of the outcome. It's not in terms of letting go of our power, but letting go of the outcome. So we're always in a position or place where we are expecting good to come, that we are absolutely surrendering to the flow of life. And so when we look at this law or working in harmony with this law, this is supporting us or encouraging us to release control over how this is going to go, to find in terms of that deep acceptance with what has happened in the past, where we're doing the healing work and we're working to finding that peace within us, the peace of mind, peace in our heart. We're actionatory in terms of those things we're doing every single day to support it, but is the very thing that really creates the liberation or freedom. And so practicing detachment means that we're no longer attached to the story. We're no longer attached to the narrative. We're no longer attached to the blame. We're no longer attached to the shame of the experience. We're no longer attached to what happened in the past. And we can do that based on not only a mindset, but we do that also based on an energy experience as well, or an energy understanding of things. Is that when we have had experiences and circumstances previously in our life, that there are energy is attached to those incidents and those events, that we are still entangled, so to speak, with the past, within the history or the scope of things. And now we can say this attachment is not only to the things that we've personally experienced in our life, but of course, these energy attachments are still to the situations, the events, the people of this lifetime, of previous lifetimes, of things that maybe incidents or accidents or events that where there has been our energy can still be back at that event, still pulling us back in the narrative, pulling us back into the trauma. So we also want to look at when we're creating detachment or becoming a detached, it's not only a mindset, but we're also looking to clear and release and cut and all the ties and cords and energy connections to those events in our life as well. So we become very mindful, and especially as empaths, as energy sensitives, as individuals who are, experience life from, well, I'm going to say, this other side of things, that we have to really be cognizant of what is affecting us or what is pulling at us in terms of those, or keeping us tied to the narratives, the stories, the pain, etc. So I would really encourage you this week, as you're moving forward, and of course you're practicing the positive expectation, that part of what you're also doing is invoking and calling in your angels, your guides. Archangel Michael is a beautiful ally to work on this, and just asking for all of the energy, all of the cords and ties, all of the things that are still keeping you bound or tied or connected to past experiences, people, situations, or events in your life where there's wounding associated with it, that you're asking and invoking, and for that to be cleared or cut and released, and just ask for Michael to, to heal that. So create the separation, create the liberation from the energy things that are keeping you attached, so that you can become more and more detached from what was. But this will also help and support you to become detached to outcomes as well, because you can also ask for that to happen. You can ask Michael to clear away the attachments, cords, and ties to what was previously, and in anywhere that I have projected or created attachment to my outcomes, to my manifestations, to my hope for the future, in anywhere that I have been trying to control the outcome, I'm asking for the angels to clear and cut and release all of those energetic ties to the future. So we wanted to make sure that we're taking care of what was, and we want to make sure that we're also becoming detached from the outcome, becoming detached from the healing outcome, for detached of how we believe our life should be going, and allowing for, so we're no longer imposing what are our narrow or limitation of our mindset of what can become possible for the future, but instead we are creating an expectation in becoming, in trusting in life's intelligence. Rather, it's like in God's intelligence for our life, and trusting the universe to deliver it to us instead of based on conditions or conditioning, as far as the unhealthy expectations, or in some way in where we've become rigid in terms of maybe where we haven't been vibrationally in alignment with the liberation, or vibrationally in alignment of what will actually be the best possible reality for you to be living and experiencing. So not only do we, like as I said, do we want to look at clearing and releasing the energetic ties and cores to the past, to those lifetimes, situations and events, but we also, anywhere that we have forecasted, anywhere that we have made negative conclusions about any situation in our life, whether it's happening currently or whether it's something we're looking to manifest in the future. This is a much more powerful way to allow for well-being to be constantly flowing into our reality. Okay, so positive expectation for what is to come, but making sure we're taking responsibility for cleaning up and clearing out what no longer serves our past, but also the energy, but also what is forecasted, what we've concluded, what we have maybe deemed ourselves of as being worthy based on past conditioning, based on the previous belief systems. So we want to make sure that we are taking responsibility and that co-creative role in our lives when we are working with this new reality that we're looking in terms of what is to become and what it is we're opening up to receive. All right. So, wishing you a happy, wonderful Tuesday, of course. And to wrap up today, I'm also going to pull an oracle card. I was guided to do that this morning as well. And I am using this deck is Alana Fairchild's The Sacred Rebel deck, which is, of course, one of my absolute favorites. I have so many favorite decks, but this is another one that really, I guess maybe because I'm just a rebel at heart as well. All right. So our card today, in support of course, of what we were talking about, and also in terms of this movement forward to begin to create a positive co-creative way of approaching life, where we are, taking responsibility to shift and to heal and to, whoops, and I've got cards flying everywhere. And where we're taking the responsibility, doing the good work, and then becoming the co-creative or collaborative partner with the universe and the powers that be in order orchestrating something, big and beautiful and very worthy of for our lives. So, oh my God, I've got cards falling from this deck left, right, and center as we are coming forward, or the card for us is coming forward. And there it is. It just flipped. Woo, oh my gosh. Okay, so it is wonderful. It's beautiful. I love, and of course, what's so great, it's a number. So first off, let's take a look at the numerology of it. So one, it is the spirals of manifestation, which is so fun because we're just talking about manifesting future, how we become detached, letting go of control, what it is that we're, what is seeking us is seeking to become. So we need to do our part in order of shifting the frequency and vibration, and of course, we're being co-creative. We're looking and working in collaboration with the powers that be, with the universe, in terms of manifesting the life that we will love, ultimately love living, right? So this is the number 18 in the deck. So I'm going to show it to you again. So let's take a look first at the numerology representation of what this is, because not only is it a 9 when we look at adding the 8 and the 1, and it is a indication of the closing of a cycle and the beginning of something new. So a nine is always about wrapping up and bringing into completion what was and opening up. It's the card which also is about the new beginning as well. So I love this when we look in terms of even what we have been, what we've been looking to achieve and work through, all of the unraveling, all of the healing, and then now becoming the collaboration with the universe in terms of where things go from here. So when we look at the 18, so I would say, and the nine is also about a completion of our karma, our past, the old narratives. So it's a beautiful thing, and it's the invitation is for us to begin to look anew and look forward and prepare ourselves with open hearts to receive what is looking to come forward now, of course, for us. So when we look at the number 18 is a blend of frequency and energies of the number 1 and the number 8, again, signifying the new beginning, indicating progress. This is about, we are following our hearts and we are trusting the intuition and the guidance and support from our angels and guides. It is a number of abundance. It is a number in terms of not only giving, but also receiving. And it also represents the spiritual law of cause and effect. So that universal law, what you give, you shall receive. What you put out, you're going to get. And this is where positive expectation comes in, because when we're putting out that we are expecting the universe and expecting good to happen and expecting life to shift up and expecting, our prayers to be answered, and we're confident and we're invoking and speaking that over our lives, the universe can't help but listen and deliver. So this number 18 is also, where our angels are coming forward to support and saying, think positive about this. This is about your abundance. You're manifesting the highest ideals for your life, and to know that we are being supported and we are being guided by the divine in making this happen. It's also an indication that it's going to happen very, very quickly, because it's got the influence of the one. It's indicating manifesting energy. It's about the as I said, the encouragement to remain positive, to and have high expectations. So not only, a one this or we're looking at working with positive expectation, the one says have high expectations and know that all the universal energies and all the powers that be are helping you to achieve and manifest the highest ideal for your life. And again, this is as always, I'm hearing the angels right now saying, what, don't stress about things that, as circumstances present in your life. Just know that there is, have faith and trust that this is also completing. So things might come up that were a part of the old energies, the old creation, the old conditioning. And so even though these present circumstances may not be exactly what you've been praying for, trusting that as they're coming up and as they're being blessed and as you're working through them, that better is on the way. So that's where the positive, it's like, I am positively expecting that better is on the way, that what my current circumstances are just a manifestation of what was previous to where I am now. And so we're blessing what was, we're understanding and acknowledging that this is not what is, my life. This state is temporary, and it's based on old energies, old frequencies, old timelines, old thought systems, old belief systems, old ways of living, right? It's the 9, that 8 and 1, the completion of it. So just know that things as they're showing up for you, that it is just a completion, and that new opportunities and new ways of living your life are happening, that we understand that spirit is always looking for expression and expansion. So the 18 is also telling us that to consider this as a beginning, that this is expansion looking to take form, that this is happening. It's a very auspicious number, and it's very encouraging and inviting us, of course, to fall forward into our faith. And our faith can come from invoking and working in terms of our positive expectation. Okay, so looking at what does the number 18, how is it correlate and the message from the guidebook. So number 18, spirals of manifestation. The creative rebellious path of love moves in spirals. It is not linear. Sometimes our mind decides that the way forward is to take clear steps from one point to the next logical point. However, there is a genius within that can guide us on an alternative route. If there is an unnecessary pothole or a delay in the typical linear path of progression, the curved loop in the path will be quicker, more fun, and more beautiful. Then why not allow yourself to be guided to that path? This can happen through trust and wisdom rather than through the rigid adherence to what is on the surface that appears to be logical progression. You are in the midst of a spiral of manifestation. Something is coming into being, even if you think that it's further away than ever before. How amazing it will be when you can see it, when everything you've been dreaming of falls into place. Suddenly, what you've been thinking of creating will plonk into your reality, seemingly out of nowhere, because it was just around the bend, just out of view on the spiral of manifestation, and you could not see it coming. The truth is, it was coming to you all along. This oracle has a message for you. Sometimes when we feel the furthest away from what we want, we are actually closer than ever before. Just one turn on the spiral loop of creation can see your manifestation taking root in the world. You must hold true to your faith and keep working on your progress. It says, forget about believing it when you see it. Any old soul or young soul can do this. You are bigger, braver, more ancient. You have enough chutzpah to believe it so that you can see it sooner, bigger and brighter. Do not give in to those who tell you it should have happened already, or that in some way you have failed, or this is not working. They are suffering from a lack of patience and understanding, as well as the assumption that their notion of timing is somehow superior to the greater divine timing that is at play. Be in goodwill with yourself and the universe. All is unfolding perfectly, whether you feel it right now or not. This oracle brings another message to you about the perfect synchronicities that are taking place in your life. You may have started to notice these already. When you live from your heart, honor your creative center, and choose unlikely but lovingly rebellious ways to be in the world, you will begin to notice synchronicity every day. It is as though the universe is speaking to us intimately on all matters, which of course it is. The oracle reminds you that there is no point in rushing to the bus stop. If you were there way too early, you would just end up wasting time. Better to live your life to a more appropriate pace and get there at the right time. You don't need the anxiety that comes from rushing towards your destiny. Try not to worry quite so much about the future. You will attract what you want and need so much more enjoyably when you relax and deal with the here and the now. Remember, too, that your life path is unfolding in harmony with the paths of others. You will meet with each other for that greatest benefit. And when you trust in the flow of one great creative spiral upon which the galaxy spins, everything is ultimately in harmony with everything else to fulfill the great, big creative intent of the supreme creative force of love. You are included in that. How lucky. Whew. It's so good. I love this line. Be in goodwill with yourself and the universe. Be in goodwill with yourself, which means bless yourself, be kind to yourself, honor, give yourself favor, right? It's everything we've talked about. It's being able to be present, to be thoughtful, to be kind, to be patient, most importantly, to be compassionate, and then of course, to be in good favor with when you are in good favor with yourself, then the universe is in good favor with you as well. So it's so beautiful. All right, everyone, we'll have an amazing week ahead. And remember those positive expectations, to know that you are a part of, and an important part of, what is looking to manifest. Remember, God cannot do for you what can be done with and through you. All right, everyone. Have an amazing week ahead. Bye-bye for now.